Welcome to Reaching World Podcast, where we highlight the world's largest network of influencers for good, love, and service. Join us in saying thank you to these incredible individuals and organizations by listening, subscribing, and sharing their legacies. And by doing this together, we will help inspire others to leave their legacy of service and love. I'm your host, Zach Garner. So we're honored to have Tim with Huel on our podcast today. So what position are you with Huel? And then we can jump right into telling us about the company.
Yeah, sure. So what I do at Huel is I sort of run the community side of things, and I sort of run our social media. So obviously, massive online presence. Huel is a sort of e-commerce company, and with that comes loads of social media. So I run the Facebook, the Instagram, our Twitter. We've got an amazing community of people on our forum, where we talk in live time with them and, discuss ideas and how we can improve and stuff. And it's my job, amongst many other things. We're still a relatively small company, but it's my main job to sort of manage that community and make sure that all our amazing Huelers are feeling the love.
Perfect. I love that. Awesome. So you guys aren't based in the United States, right?
We're not, no. So we launched in the UK. Gosh, when was it? It was June 2015. So yeah, we're a UK-based company, and we launched in America the following year.
Okay. So tell us a little about your company and how it came to be. So you guys launched in 15. What's the story of the startup?
Yeah. So perhaps a little bit about what Huel is. So Huel is what we call a nutritionally complete food. And what that means is we're kind of forging our own sort of food category. So Huel is essentially a powder that you add to water. You give it a damn good shake, and what you've got there is a complete meal. So it's got a full spectrum of micronutrients, carbs, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals, fiber, all that really good stuff all in one. And what people are doing is using it as convenience food. So, lots of people, busy professionals, like me and you, Zach, kind of skipping meals maybe, perhaps when they're on the go, maybe buying convenience food that maybe isn't quite so nutritious, maybe it costs them quite a bit. And what Huel does is it fills that void where you might otherwise have something which isn't so good for you.
Yeah, it really does. I remember the first time I ordered the product, my wife tried it in the morning and she loved it. She was pleasantly surprised how good it was.
Oh, fantastic.
She was like, by 8 o'clock at night. So she had gone like 12 hours. And she's like, I forgot to eat again because I just felt my body felt full and it felt like it had received everything it needed from the morning serving of Huel. So
wow,
to you guys. You guys
nice one. Oh, that's really, really cool. That's great. It's great to have your friends and family using Huel too, Zach. But yeah, then how we started. So Huel was founded by Julian Hearn, who's sort of a entrepreneur. He sold a previous business which was online voucher codes business, and had basically he was good to go for the rest of his life. Really, he could sort of retire there. And being the sort of entrepreneur that he is, sort of got itchy feet, was sort of sat around at home, not really doing too much, and sort of decided to start up something else. So now that wasn't Huel. What he did was he wanted to set up basically a comparison site. So you get comparison sites for all sorts of things, insurances and that sort of thing. But he wanted to set up a comparison site for fitness programs and diets and things like that. There's so much noise in that area, and you never know which one's the right one to go for. So the idea was to basically trial all these different programs with real life guinea pigs, effectively, i.e. Julian, and basically see which ones worked. So the first one that Julian tries is phenomenal. Julian, I wouldn't like to say how old he is, but in sort of 40s, and after a spell on one program, Julian had cut his body fat down, was in the best shape of his life at 40, and all his friends were asking him about it. How did you do this? And Julian was like, well, I weighed all my food, I made sure that I was eating X amount of meals a day, I was making sure it was all perfectly balanced and nutritious, etc., etc. Obviously, all his friends were like, that is totally unrealistic. I could never do that.
Yeah.
I'm too busy. And Julian was like, right, okay, hang on. So my most convenient meal of the day is the protein shake I have at 11 o'clock. So protein shakes are great. They're super convenient, easy to use. They're nutritious, but they're not balanced. It's just protein. Yeah. It's missing all those other things that I was talking about earlier: fats, carbohydrates, fiber, vitamins, minerals. And that sparked a sort of idea. Julian teamed up with a registered nutritionist, really highly regarded nutritionist in the UK, who's got almost 30 years experience in nutrition within the NHS, which is the UK sort of government funded health care system, and has loads of experience there, and basically formulated a product akin to a protein shake but was totally nutritionally balanced. And that's where Huel came from.
Oh wow, amazing. Who was that he teamed up with?
So there's a guy called James Collier.
Okay.
James Collier.
What was his background?
Absolutely. So James Collier, nutrition, did a lot of work in the National Health Service around chronic diseases, loads of experience with diabetes, other chronic health conditions that require sort of dietary intervention, and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, loads of experience. One of the most knowledgeable guys I know.
Amazing. So they started that. Was that in 2015, or was that a year or two before? And what was it like for them starting out, and what struggles did they have to overcome? They had an idea, they had a concept, they had the experience and the knowledge. What were some of the struggles they had to overcome in the beginning?
Yeah, so it was long from talking to Julian. So I mean, you've got this idea, and basically Huel was formed on a spreadsheet, and that was very, very quick, that process there. But actually the biggest issue was getting the product to market, actually finding a supplier that was willing to take a risk on a startup to make a physical product. And that's the biggest thing. Like Julian's always said, he's used to online, he's used to putting out websites, creating apps, and that's quick. But creating an actual physical product was difficult.
Yeah, and your product is so, you got to try it. People just have to try it to really understand it, because it truly is. It has everything you talked about, and it really does wonders for your body and your diet and the convenience of getting your body everything it needs. So we're huge fans of it. But nice. So talk to us about maybe a testimonial or two of customers, that what they're experiencing by using Huel products.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So I mean, the Huel community is so varied, and we were initially, when we started Huel, and just for a bit of context, so I was probably the third employee at Huel. So I've been at Huel 3 years now, and we've only been on the market 3.5. So at the beginning, we were all there sort of mucking in, doing all sorts of stuff. I do the social media now, but actually was doing tons of stuff. So I've had tons of interaction with customers and stuff like that, and still do. That's the best part of my job. When we first started, it was kind of busy professionals. That's what we wanted to hit, kind of your office workers. But it kind of spiraled into, there's so many different types of people that use Huel, and like, what is a busy professional? It could be anyone. So yeah, we've had look at public services, your firefighters, your police, your nurses and doctors, people working, some of the hardest working people, military, Army, Air Force, Navy. We have this whole group of people there who are like some of the hardest working people who are using Huel for all sorts of reasons. We've then got sort of really niche groups of people. Maybe they're using it to manage a medical condition. Like, it's crazy. We would never talk about Huel in that sort of way, because that's not it's dangerous ground. But it's phenomenal to get this feedback from people being like, oh yeah, I'm recovering from this. Huel has been an absolute lifesaver, because I can't swallow at the moment. People with conditions like dysphagia, people who are recovering from surgery, they're not allowed to sort of have solid food. Huel, for some people, a niche group of people, that helps them there. Like people trying to gain weight, people trying to lose weight as well, because you can manage your calorie intake very easily with Huel. As you can imagine, it's a powder. You can weigh that out very precisely and be like, right, this amount of Huel, I know exactly the amount of calories in it. I know the exact amount of protein and carbs. It's very precise, and people find that very useful for monitoring their losing weight or gaining weight or maintaining their weight. I mean, it's so versatile, and that's the biggest biggest takeaway for us. There's people from all different areas coming in and finding that Huel is helping them sleep better and making them just tangibly feel better, getting ill less. So these anecdotal reports, and there's nothing like, we're not here saying on a great big marketing billboard, Huel makes you healthier and feel better. It's just science. When you consume the right amount of nutrients, that's the kind of outcome you're going to get. And it's so rewarding hearing those reports from our customers.
Oh yeah, I can imagine how fulfilling your job is. You really are, changing people's lives and their health and their conditions, and you're really disrupting the whole, quick, easy, convenient food. How many of us struggle and fall into that trap of like, oh, it's just convenient just to drive through a fast food place and the quick, easy means of food, and then boom, we feel like crap for.
You're so right. You're so right, Zach. It's this thing. So when you want convenience food, you kind of want three things. You want you want it to be tasty, you want it to be cheap, you want it to be nutritious, and then obviously convenient as well. But we're on convenience food, so tasty, cheap, nutritious. But rarely convenience food is all three of those things. You go to your local fast food sort of drive-through. Yeah, it's tasty. Yeah, it's cheap sometimes. Actually sometimes it possibly isn't. But let's say that it's cheap. It's really not nutritious. Okay, right. So you're going to your local sort of Whole Foods and maybe getting some convenience food from there. Okay, so yeah, nutritious, right? You found some nutritious convenience food. It's tasty, probably. I'd say so. Is it cheap? Hell no. It's super expensive, and it's balancing those things, and that's what kind of the goal is with Huel. Let's have something that is fundamentally nutritious and contains everything in the right proportions that you would need. Okay, but then let's actually make it quite cost effective. For a 500 calorie meal of Huel, I think it's just under $2. So it's compared to most things out there that you would otherwise be eating for convenience food. It's a lot cheaper. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
And you feel so much better for hours. Like it gives me and my family members such natural energy because, like you said, it's giving the body everything it needs. Not just protein or not just energy or not just vitamins. It's like the whole meal plus everything your body needs. So
that's it. And yeah, it's filling right as well.
Yeah, exactly. My like I said, my wife literally went for 12 hours realizing, oh, I hadn't eaten again because my body felt so good because of my Huel serving in the morning. So it's awesome. It's good stuff, man. Nice. So tell us if I'm listening to the podcast and I want to get my hands on Huel, where's the best way to get it? And do you guys have any promotions this month, or what's your status?
Yeah, so definitely head to Huel.com, Huel.com. We're purely online at the moment. It's quite exciting time for us. We're trying to experiment with new avenues, but the best place to go, you get the best service, is Huel.com.
Perfect. And yeah, Tim, just keep those testimonials coming, man. I see you guys have the tab for read more testimonials. Turn those testimonials into videos like you're doing on your social media, on your Instagram. I've been following you guys on Instagram. Love those testimonials. Keep having customers send those in because that's, there's no one better to sell the product than avid raving fans, So, and
you're so right. You're so right. Well, perhaps we need to get you on there, Zach.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, Tim. Hey, appreciate your time, man. Any last piece of advice or any last, if you could talk to 7 billion people, in 20 seconds, what would you want the world to know about you or Huel or your mission?
Oh, wow. I mean, at Huel, what we're trying to do is make nutritionally complete, convenient, affordable food with minimal impact on environment and animals. And that's really what we're all about. And I think if we all do a little bit of reducing our impact on the environment, then we can have a massive effect.
Awesome. That's perfectly said. And you guys really are like changing the world in your own way with nutrition and diet, and then, not impacting the environment, like you said, with all the things that go into, processed foods and things. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for your mission. Keep it up. We're big fans. We'll try to spread the word and the love out there to the rest of the world and get as many people as we can ordering Huel. So
thanks so much, Zach. It's been an absolute pleasure.
These episodes will be launched on Mondays and Thursdays. And if you'd like someone to be on the podcast, if you think there's someone in your network that should be recognized for the good they are doing in the world, please reach out to us and send us a direct message. We can be found at Reaching World Podcast on Facebook.com. So be sure to find us there, like our page, and submit any ideas or suggestions of individuals or organizations that should be highlighted on this podcast.